Hello and welcome. Um, I'm usually not the kind of person to make these kind of videos, but since I haven't really seen any content about this topic flying around, I thought to myself, why not do it myself? So what I'm going to show you in this tutorial today is how you can um, get the load remover for the N.Sane Trilogy, for the Crash Bandicoot N.Sane Trilogy to work, and basically how you can speedrun it on Linux. Two things straight away. Um, First of all, I'm not going to go into every little detail while I'm describing how you can get this to run. Um, this tutorial is basically assuming that you know a little bit about Linux and where to find certain things, and yeah, that you're basically a little bit knowledgeable about Linux. And the second thing is, I'm currently showing this on Arch. So what I can almost guarantee is that this will work on basically anything that's Arch based. But I can't guarantee for any other distros. I'm sure it will work in a certain way on other distros as well, even in the same way. You can always try, but as far as I'm aware at the moment, I can only guarantee this will work on Arch. Okay, with this out of the way, let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna need is basically the software I've open right now. It is bottles. And the way you can get bottles is just from the AUR. Um, or if you're like me, I have the chaotic AUR installed as well. So in my case, you can also just go, for example, Paru and search for bottles. That's not how you spell bottles. That's how you spell it. So yeah, there's a package in the chaotic AUR, but there's also a package in the AUR, and you can just grab that. It should work perfectly fine. It doesn't really matter where you get it from, but it's important you get it like from one of these sources at least. Um, yeah. Once you got it installed, if you um if you used bottles before, um, you should be aware how the application is looking. So what we're gonna do next is basically go to this little, yeah, three dots menu, and go to preferences. And what we want to do is go to runners and grab the WineGE version, the latest one, the latest WineGE version. We are going to need this specifically because this is like the runner we are going to use to get all of the things going we need. So yeah, once you downloaded that, you can hit plus on creating a new bottle. And you can call it whatever you want. For presentation purposes, I'm going to call it Speedrun 2. Because I have one already that's called Speedrun. Again, just call it whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. And I recommend going with like this is partially in German, by the way, but this should say gaming if you're on English. So just go with like the gaming preset. Leave the runner on soda, because we are not going to switch to WineGE, what we just downloaded yet. For now, we are just gonna stick with soda. The reason why we're doing that is because if we choose WineGE beforehand, I tested it. We need to install the Windows version of Steam for this whole thing, and as far as I'm aware, WineGE, the installer is just not working properly. It's I think the last time I tried it, it crashed. It just crashes when you try to open it. I'm not entirely certain anymore, but just trust me on this. I tried it multiple times. It just won't work. So leave it on soda for now. and you basically just click create and let that create. Yeah, this is going to be really fast for me right now because I have like all the dependencies already installed within my bottles. So don't panic if this is taking longer. It's just downloading all the dependencies in the background to like get the container created. And yeah, oh, surprisingly, it's still installing fonts. It actually is a little bit surprising it's doing that, because pretty sure past attempts I didn't really have to do that, but well, I guess it is doing it now. I mean, it's not the worst thing, so at least you have the full experience with that now. And we're gonna sit through this. Because this is basically how long it will take. And what the experience is like. Yeah, you just let that go through everything it needs, basically. And wait for it to finish. I sometimes have it happen while it's doing that, at least the first time I boot up bottles. That it actually crashes in that process. If it does that, once you've reopened bottles, you can just repeat what I just did. I wouldn't go with the already created bottle, because it will be missing dependencies. So if it crashes in the middle of creating the bottle, reopen it and delete the bottle again and recreate it. After that, it should just run through it. I don't know why it sometimes crashes when you boot it up for the first time, but that's the only time that should happen. It never happened to me after that again. So there's a little hint. Wow, I totally forgot how long this actually takes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't expect it to take that long. Basically just trying to think of words that I can, like, speak, but I'm not really good at talking, even though I would say I'm doing a pretty good job right now. I should say I'm usually not that good at talking, because I'm sometimes missing, like, topics to talk about. So, yeah. Okay, I've decided to cut that part out. For time purposes. I think also it got stuck. But so I don't have to like run through this again. Yeah. After you created a bottle, yeah, it should just appear there. It should say like it's ready, or you just open it and or it will just open it for you. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so what we want to do in here now is we want to go to settings. It's still in German, but I'm going to translate it for you. So yeah, go to settings, and now you will have like all these options you have like for the bottle. In here, basically what I would like to do is like turn off dedicated graphics card, unless you have one, like a hybrid PC with, you know, more than just one graphic cards. This option is basically pointless, so you can turn it off. I think even if you have it on while not having like a dedicated GPU, as like a hybrid setup, it will actually drop performance, but I might be wrong about this. I just heard, I think it does that. Just turn it off if you don't have a hybrid PC. Or more than one graphics card, I should say. And what we also want to turn on is like Steam runtime. So that's basically what you want to do in the settings. Sorry, I forgot something. What you also want to turn on in the settings is monitor performance. If you have Mango Hut installed, this is basically what turns on the little performance monitor overlay you have on your game when you run it. But you can also always just turn on the Steam FPS counter. It works just as well, but I thought I would edit that in for the case you want to use Mango Hut. After that, we're going back and we will hit like and I think this says install software in English. Install programs, install software. It's basically this button. And what we want to install is Steam. Yeah, here it is. You just hit that button and it will basically, I'm not going to do that for time's sake, but you basically just hit that, start installation, and it will install all the dependencies, install everything you need for Steam, and yeah, just install Steam basically for you. Once that's done, I think the next part is easier to show, like with my actual thing. You can see like this is like the thing I'm mainly using. This is how your basically finished bottle will look like afterwards. So what you should see next in the list is Steam. I think it actually creates two Steam entries. Don't ask me why. It just does that. It doesn't really matter which one you open, but basically you run the software by just hitting the play button, if you want to call it that, and it will open Steam, as you can see. So for me, it will just log into Steam right now. What it will do for you, of course, is just it will show like the usual login screen, you know, after you first set up Steam, and you basically just go through the normal Steam installation process. One important thing though, and I will give an epilepsy warning at this point. By default, hardware acceleration will be on for Steam. And when you run this through Wine and you don't know this, it will flicker. So what you want to do is like go into the settings and turn off hardware acceleration. Believe me, you want to do that. And even if it doesn't flicker, I still recommend turning it off because running processes through Wine and using hardware acceleration, it doesn't work properly, at least in my experience. I haven't been able to run one software through Wine that didn't have like anything weird going on while hardware acceleration is going on, is turned on. So just turn it off is my recommendation. But if it works for you, good. Good, I guess. Yeah. And next thing, you just install N.Sane Trilogy. That's as easy as it is. You just install an N.Sane Trilogy as you normally would through Steam. All right. Now, what you want to do next is we will install LiveSplit now. And LiveSplit is basically as easy as yeah, just getting your LiveSplit folder and put it within your wine prefix you just created for your bottle. You should be able to see like your settings, your bottles folder. By where is it again? It's in here. It's under preferences. Yeah. This is where like this is the bottles directory. You can just click on it and it will show you where the directory is. So what you basically want to do is like, I will show you how it will look like by the end. So this is my bottles folder. I have it on a separate hard drive. You can do that, by the way. It doesn't have to be like on the same hard drive as bottles is installed on. And you basically want to like go into bottles, then this will be the is where the folders are where your created bottles are. You just go into the folder of your bottle, go into Drive C, and within this Drive C folder, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't really matter where you put it. At the moment, I have it in program files. As you can see, there's my LiveSplit folder. But I had a time where I actually just put it under users, public, and then just documents, and it worked just as well. So it doesn't really matter where you put it, but you need to be like within this Drive C. You need to put it somewhere here, or it won't work. So as long as we have it in here, you're good. Okay, so yeah, you just have your LiveSplit folder, your normal standard LiveSplit folder in here. Just put it in here, and once you've done that, you want to go back to bottles. And within your bottle, there's God, what is it called in English? I'm not thinking about it too long. Just hit the left button next to install programs. This will basically allow you to just add like any exe to, or like executables to your bottle. It should automatically go to your like bottle directory, so you just go into Drive C and go wherever you just put your LiveSplit folder. In my case, it's this one. You just choose livesplit.exe and press add, and then it will show up on this list, just like here. And once that's done, you should be able to just, press that, and it should open LiveSplit. You can test it within like, your normal, like the soda wine thing. So here it is. It's open, as you can see. It just opened on my other screen because that's where I put it. But yeah, it did open. Okay. Once you've made sure everything runs, you want to close that down. Actually, I would recommend after you logged in, before you install the N.Sane Trilogy, just close off Steam again. And what you want to do like next is basically go back into your settings, go to runners, and switch that actually to WineGE Proton. I just went back into my bottle, so it's already set on WineGE, but if you remember, before we had it set to Soda. Under Soda, you can also open LiveSplit and everything, but there's a reason we are using WineGE. For one, I think personally from testing, it has the better performance. Soda's fine, but I had like some lag spikes here and there. It just seemed like it's running worse. Just trust me on that, go with WineGE. It works the best in my experience, at least. And for the other thing, it's what I also like found out is under WineGE, Steam inputs actually work. So, I'm gonna reopen not LiveSplit, Steam. For the more experienced NST runners, you know how for gate clip you want to set up your controller a certain way, where one button is basically doing sliding to the right and sliding to the right. So you want to like set your controller up like this. For that you need Steam inputs, like the controller settings you have like within Steam, And the thing is, besides WineGE, no other wine layout as of right now, as of my testing right now, would allow me to use Steam input. Once it's deactivated, it would work, but the thing is, you can't use like the controller setup with that, where what you would use to make gate clip in Crash 3 a little bit more easier. So that's also a very important reason why we want to use WineGE. Because under this, it will actually work. Okay, the X to close the window is just gone. Since my controller's plugged in, I will just press a circle on it to close it. Okay. And once that's set up, it's basically just your normal, once you installed Crash Bandicoot N.Sane Trilogy and you set up LiveSplit, you set up live split basically the same way as you would on Windows. So you would go like, and this is actually not what I wanted to do, Jesus. I will pull up a live split here. So, give it a second. It's giving me the pop-up for an update again. Yeah. And yeah, you basically just do it the normal way, you know? You just go to edit splits and you activate the load remover. Make sure. What do you mean error? Okay, that's actually interesting. It never gave me error before. What were you doing? Jesus. Okay. Don't know what that was, but okay. Yeah, you basically activate the load remover, set your timer to game time, and after that, it's ready. It's basically ready, and I will of course demonstrate the whole thing, and for that I will really quickly switch over to my streaming setup because it's just easier. Of course I haven't prepared anything in here. Turn on that, turn off that. I really need to quickly just need to open NST. So I can actually properly show that off. In the meantime, I just hope it doesn't crash live split. So, small tip.
Activision presents a smashing blast from the past.
Once Lex Lang stopped yelling into my ear. What can happen if you open live split first? Before N.Sane Trilogy, sometimes the progress of just opening NST will crash live split. That's the only time it ever happens, so don't worry about that. If that happens, just reopen it. It shouldn't crash. From my experience, it never crashed when I opened Crash first, like NST, and opened live split afterwards. I don't know what it's doing when it's starting the game that would cause live split to crash. Like, it just freezes, you can't do anything with it. But yeah, that's just a weird thing, I would say. Yeah, let me give you actually something to look at, because you can't see anything. There it is. And the timer, so you can actually see that it's working. So is live split still alive? It is not alive. Yeah, it crashed. That's like what I mean. If you open it like before NST, it just crashes. But that's not too bad. I will just quit out of that real quick. Yes, please. And the process. That would be really nice. And I'll just quickly reopen it. Okay. Load remover is activated. Okay. And it's gaming time. I actually need to recapture the window because now you just see a frozen window of live split actually. Okay, now this should work. Just testing. Yeah, it's running. Okay. So usually if I just hit start the game, it should just start the timer. And there you go. And there you also go. It freezes the timer. Removes the loading time as it should be. And that's basically it. That's how you get it to work. One important thing though, that I will share right now as a final thing. As you can see, my FPS are currently at 60. There's one thing about Crash Bandicoot NST on Linux though. And I haven't found, at least for now, I haven't found any solution to that problem. So you see how my max FPS are like on 48, and if I switch it to 36, it doesn't do anything. Switching FPS in-game doesn't do a thing. It just doesn't work, no matter what you do. So there's two possibilities how you can like set your FPS to the proper ones, which is 60 in most cases. One is you just set the refresh rate of your screen to 60 hertz. Because it's like hard locked on VSync. So it will basically always go to the FPS count that equals your refresh rate of your screen. So if you set it to 60, it should just go to 60. Second option, how I'm doing it in most scenarios when I'm capping my FPS is I use a software called Mango Juice, which controls Mango Hut at the top left. There's a setting where you can like input multiple, you know, there's a setting that allows you to press a hotkey and it will cap the FPS at whatever number you set the FPS to set it to when you hit the hotkey. So that's basically the two versions you could go for. Which one you do, it doesn't really matter. But important thing is though, due to the rules, you can't switch your FPS with software. It's not legit, it's not allowed for speedruns. That's really important. So cap it to 60, but be aware that for any strats that require your game to run at 30, you just won't be able to do that. I'm still like looking into this, trying to find like a solution that is legit and that actually lets me switch the FPS counter within the game, so it's like legit again. But for now, from my testing, this is the best you can get it to work on Linux. But it comes with a downside that you can't like change your FPS rate at all. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But I'm working on that. And hopefully find a solution for that sometime. But yeah, that's basically all there is to say. Trying to think if I forgot anything. But I'm pretty sure I didn't forget anything. So I hope this helps. If there should be any questions about this, feel free to ask. In the comments or on speedrun.com even. Yeah. Just let me know if there are any issues you're encountering. And with that, yeah, that's basically it for this tutorial. Thank you everybody for watching, and yeah, enjoy. Good luck on your runs.